Maine Preservation has announced its annual list of the most endangered historic places in Maine. The 2025 list includes 4 Maine sites currently at risk. The Governor Abner Coburn House in Skowhegan sustained damage to its roof and upper floors during a fire last year. The Cannet House in Augusta, built in 1911, requires a permanent fix to its structural integrity. In Vassalboro, the Leach Overlock House's condition has declined after the former caretaker passed away in 2023. And the North Franklin Agricultural Building has fallen into disrepair with broken windows, failing paint, and uninvestigated structural concerns. Maine Preservation's list is intended to identify and raise public awareness about these historic sites.